Hello, everybody. Here it is, part 4, the final video of the Sun Belt predictions. Almost said SEC. We're talking Texas State, Troy, and ULM, Louisiana Monroe. Had to check my knee here. I kind of screwed up my kneecap, the patella. How are we going to go with this here? Plus, after this, we'll do the full recap of the conference, the standings, and who is going to be battling for and winning the Sun Belt this year. So, shall we get into this? All right. Texas State first up. 8-5 last season. You beat Rice in the First Responder Bowl. Vegas has got your win total at 8.5, which is pretty damn good here. GJ Kinn is back. This is going to be year 2 for him at the helm. How well is that going to do? We'll see. James Madison transferred George McLeod. Looks like the leader in the clubhouse to be the new starting quarterback. We'll see how that goes. Ismail Mahdi, speed demon, backfield receiver out the back. He's going to be the starting running back. He had 1,300 yards, I believe, last season. He's going to be a beast for them, everybody to deal with. The wide receiver room is pretty good. A lot of them are back. Offensive line lost 2 starters. Hopefully the incoming transfer players and everybody else can come mush together, but they got to do a better job in pass protection because that was a problem last year. Defensively, defensive line's got some good transfers coming in. How is all going to blend together? Linebackers, okay, that'll be good. The secondary is probably the strength. It's pretty good. Starters okay, and they actually got some depth in the transfer portal. So we'll see how this goes here. We'll start off with Texas State schedule. Home against Lamar. Yeah, that's a win. Then home against UTSA, Texas San Antonio. If you watch the American prediction videos, you know I have you beating UTSA at home. Then you're at home again against Arizona State. This was in the Big 12 predictions. You're losing to Arizona State. Come out of the bye. Then you go on a neutral site game in Houston against Sam Houston State. You just have more talent than they do. You're going to beat Sam Houston State. Then you're on the road at Troy. You lost to them by 18 at home last year, and I think they're going to beat you again. You're losing to Troy. Home against Arkansas State. I covered this in part 3. You're beating Arkansas State. On the road at Old Dominion, this was covered in part 2. You're beating Old Dominion. So now you get your second bye. Come out of the bye at home against Louisiana. This was in part 3. You're getting the win there. On the road at Louisiana Monroe, you beat them by 1 at home last year. That was a different Texas State team. I think you're going to do, and this is not the same Louisiana Monroe. You're going up, they're going down. So even though you're on the road, I'm having you beat Louisiana Monroe. Then you're home against Southern Miss. I covered this in part 3. You're beating Southern Miss. Home against Georgia State. I covered this in part 1. You're beating Georgia State. And then on the road to finish the season at South Alabama. This is also covered in part 3. Unfortunately, you're losing to South Alabama. But you finished 9-3, 6-2 in conference. So now we get to the Troy Trojans. Oh my goodness, 11-3 last year, but that was a totally different Troy team. I mean, you lost to Duke in the Birmingham Bowl. Vegas only has your win total at 5.5. This is a rebuild for this team right now. Gerard Parker's your new head coach. He was previously the offensive coordinator at Notre Dame, so you're going to have a guy making plays here. Brennan is OC Sean Reagan, who was a grad assistant and helped with the quarterbacks at West Virginia. We're going to see how well that translates. This team got absolutely decimated by the portal. Let's just be real about it. This is going to be a lot of work here. There's actually 5 guys who are in the mix to be the starting quarterback. I think Gunnar Watson got the inside track. We'll see how that goes. Running back at committee, they're going to have to because they really don't have a starting guy, the outstanding guy. Wide receiver should be pretty good. Offensive line, they brought in a ton of transfers they have to work in, and how's all that going to do? Well, we'll find out about that. Defensively, the defensive line lost so much production. Pass rushers, every transfer out and got rated on the portal. That's going to be an issue for the pass rush, and there's a lack of depth to tackle. That can be a problem. The linebacker room, this one will be the strength of their defense. They are going to be making plays and stay at home for run stops. We'll see how that goes. The secondary is damn near a complete rebuild, and that's going to be a problem. So how are we going to do with Troy here? Your 5.5 win total. Let's see what Vegas says. Let's see what happens here. Start the season at home against Nevada. I covered this in the Mountain West predictions. You're beating Nevada at home. On the road at Memphis, I cover this in the American predictions. You're losing at Memphis. On the road against Iowa, I cover this in the Big Ten, and no shock, you're losing to Iowa. And then you finish your non-con at home against Florida A&M. You get a win there. Start conference play at home against Louisiana Monroe. You beat them by 31 on the road last year. You're beating them again. That's a win. Home against Texas State. Literally just covered this. You're beating Texas State at home. Then you get your first bye, 6 games. In. On the road at South Alabama. This was covered in Part 3. You're losing to South Alabama. On the road at Arkansas State. This was also in Part 3. You're losing to Arkansas State. Home against Coastal Carolina. I covered this in Part 1. You're beating Coastal Carolina. Then on the road, another bye, Then on the road at Georgia Southern. This was also in Part 1. You're losing to Georgia Southern. Stay on the road at Louisiana. This was covered in Part 3. You're losing to Louisiana, but you finish at home against Southern Miss, which also was covered in Part 3, and you're beating Southern Miss. So that you finish the season, Troy, 6-6, 4-4 in conference. So that's pretty good, all things considered. Last but not least, oh boy, Louisiana Monroe Warhawks. To say this is going to be a rebuild is an understatement. You finished 2-10 last year. Head coach fired. Bryant Vincent comes in. He was previously the new head coach. He was previously the offensive coordinator at New Mexico. He's his own OC, so he's going to have that job. I forgot the guy's name here. Hunter, I forgot his last name. He's going to be Hunter Herring it. I think Hunter Herring. I think he's got the inside track to be starting quarterback. They're looking to add depth to the running back room. We'll see how that goes. Wide receiver room. This is basically wide receiver room complete rebuild. Offensive line lost 2 starters. You got some transfers in. Defensively, the defensive line is young. Could they develop the linebackers in the secondary? Linebackers are the same thing. They're young too. Secondary could be the strength of the defense, but they're mid. This is not going to be a good year. I'll be upfront about this. I went and looked at this and was like, and I had done everybody's things like, okay, this team, okay, here I got my wife, like I'm here at the dining room table, and my wife was mad at me when I started doing all this because I had a stack of papers for every conference. Like, okay, pull this stack out. This school lost. This school lost. Win here, lose here. Win here, lose here. And I got back and did all this for the Sun Belt, and I'm like, Jesus. I can be fancy about this, but I'm not going to be for this one. This is the worst year ULM, the Warhawks, is going to have. You start the season at home against Jackson State, and you beat Jackson State. And that's the only game you win all year. On the road at UAB, bye, at Texas, at Troy, home against James Madison, home against Southern Miss, another bye, at South Alabama, home against Marshall, home against Texas State, at Auburn, what the hell, at Arkansas State, home against Louisiana. All L's. All of them. 1-11, 0-8 in conference. You're battling Nevada for the worst school in FBS. Now, I'm missing my page here. Ah, there it is. So now we get some cheery news here. The Sun Belt standings. Well, the Western Division, we just did that, so I'm going to build this up here. Louisiana Monroe, last place, 1-11, 0-8 in conference. Southern Miss was 3-5 in conference, 4-8 overall. They're in 6th place. Louisiana and Troy both finished 6-6, 4-4 in conference. Arkansas State and South Alabama both finished 7-5, 5-3 in conference. But Texas State, 9-3, 6-2 in conference. They win the Western Division of the Sun Belt. The East, Old Dominion and Georgia State both went 2-6 in conference. Old Dominion was 3-9. Georgia State was 4-5. 2 schools went 5-7, 3-5 in conference. That's Georgia Southern and Marshall. Coastal Carolina was 8-4, 5-3 in conference. Appalachian State and James Madison were both 10-2, 7-1, tied for first place. But App State beat James Madison in the regular season. So that means App State advances to the conference championship game, and they will beat Texas State to go 11-2 to become the new champions of the Sun Belt. So, congratulations, App State. You are the champions of the Sun Belt. But it's time for you to let me know what you think about all of this down in the comments. So thanks, everybody, for watching the video. If you haven't done it already, do me a favor. Smash the like button. Hit the thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. It helps the video be seen by more people. Comment on the video. Do you agree with me that App State's the one to win the Sun Belt? Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Share the video if you want to. And if you haven't done it already, check out some other videos I've done. If you like them, hey, subscribe to the channel. You know, done a lot of stuff here. Prediction videos are done. One more. 10 down. One more. Which is going to be the kickoff show tomorrow. That is all of the top 25, the subscriber rankings, first video, and my college football prediction, and my week 0 predictions. So that's a little thing that's going to be happening on there. That one's going to be on the road, doing that one, because there's still some more injury reports coming out. So I'm going to do that video, not pre-recorded, but closer to the thing, so I can get injury reports and make my week 0 predictions a little more accurate. So, but that's coming ahead. So thanks everybody for watching the video. I appreciate everything. Like I said, like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you want to follow me on X, the link will be in the description. So thanks everybody for watching. Everybody's having a great time. The Sun Belt prediction, the conference prediction videos are over. Kickoff shows tomorrow. That one will be live. Not live. That one will be on the road, because I got to make sure I got enough predictions on the lines for my satisfaction. So we'll see how that goes. So again, thanks everybody for watching. Everybody's having a great day. Be safe out there, and please be good to each other.